So Boss Buddies, how's everybody doing now? I recently had a tag, I think it was last night or first thing this morning, from Sentimental UK on Instagram, tagging me to do a video of either my top 10 fragrances from 2018, which I'd already done. I did a video on that about a month ago, or end of December. Otherwise, doing my top 5 fragrances I want to buy in 2019. So I'm going to be back in just a second with my top 5. So how's it going, Boss Buddies? As I said, I was tagged by Sentimental UK on Instagram to give my top 5 fragrances that I want to buy in 2019. It's obviously very, very hard for me to narrow it down to just 5. So I have really sort of picked out the ones I will definitely be buying over the next few months. Obviously, I'm testing new fragrances every day, so my list always is constantly changing. But going through all the scents that I've tried in the last few months. I started my channel back at the end of August. So I tested out, I pretty much wear a different fragrance every day. So I've tested out a lot of fragrances in that time. Don't ask me to put it in mathematics. I can't remember. I'm not sure how many I've tried in that time, but I have tried a lot, I can tell you that. From a lot of different fragrance houses. I'm always trying new houses as well. In fact, recently I got sent a nice package. Thank you very much to Fragrance Du Bois, who sent me a nice little care package for review. They sent me this one here. I was absolutely blown away by this care package that was sent to me for reviews. First of all, I got this one here. That's Eau de Vert by Fragrance Du Bois. But then also they sent me all these samples here for review as well. So those, along with Clive Christian sending me some, and as well as Downtown 614 also sent me a whole bunch. So I've got a lot of fragrances to be getting on with over the next few months. So as I said, my list is always changing, but right now I wanted to do my top 5 of fragrances I want to buy in 2019. Now I'm going to start off with an honourable mention. First of all, this is one more so for my collection than anything else. Although I've got a small bottle of this one already, which I bought myself for Christmas, which is Number 1 by Clive Christian. Now, more so for having it for collectability, I would like to own a large bottle of this. Now, bearing in mind, a large bottle is only 50 ml and it's £450, or in the US, it's a lot more. It's actually $750. But yeah, I mean, I want to have the most expensive fragrance in the world in my collection, and I mean, this one to me, when I first discovered Clive Christian, let me show you the set this one's out of. Now, this is what I actually bought myself for Christmas. I bought, obviously this one goes in the middle there, but this is the original collection from Clive Christian. When I first discovered Clive Christian, I was very, very new to niche perfumes and niche fragrances, and I was researching sort of what other houses were out there. So I started sort of searching top 10 best fragrances in the world, and Clive Christian kept coming up again and again and again, and I was just mesmerized by by the luxurious packaging and everything like that, and just the wonderful presentation and the crystal bottles and things like that. But yeah, I mean, the fragrances are, I mean, they go hand in hand with exactly what you see in the presentation. They are wonderful fragrances. Now, these aren't going to be for everybody. For me, I really love them because they just smell to me like pure luxury. And I do like to be quite unique. There's not often that I'm going to go out and find anyone else wearing that on the same night. Whereas with Creed Aventus, that's most likely to happen. Especially here in Grand Cayman, where it's the #1 selling fragrance. And a lot of the fragrances that I go for now, I cannot actually buy on the island that I live on. But I love to explore, and I love to sort of, anytime I'm away on vacation, I'm always sniffing out fragrances, try and find something new as well. Right, so let's get into my top 5. Now, number 5, what would I go with for number 5? I'd have to say it's between these two. For number 5, I'm going to go with Amber Sky. Now, this is one that, this has been one of my most complimented fragrances that I've worn in the last few months. This one absolutely blew people away when I wore it to the office. I walked in the day, I was actually having a half day the day I wore it. And it was the afternoon that I went in. So I put this on around 8 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I can't remember what I was doing in the morning. I think I was just catching up on no, I wasn't catching up on sleep. Otherwise I wouldn't have put this on at 8 in the morning. Anyway, I got into work about sort of 5-6 hours after applying this, and within an hour, 2 women walked past my office that I actually work with, and they asked, what is that amazing smell? And they also asked me what I've actually sprayed in the office as well, and it happened to be Amber Sky. This one, I don't think I've ever had reactions quite like it wearing any other fragrance, with the exception of maybe Molecule 01, but I already own that, so this is why this one's going to be on my list. This is at the more expensive end of things, Amber Sky by Nihilo. They are not a cheap fragrance company, but just for purely the reactions that I got from this one and the way that people sort of receive me when I'm wearing this one, it's a very luxurious, very fresh, sort of woody smelling fragrance. There's a little bit of vanilla in there as well, which I always love. I actually tried another one quite similar to it the other day, which was Midnight Special, also by Nihilo. A little bit more vanilla-y though, but yeah, this one's definitely sort of the fresher version. It's got some amazing notes in it, but yeah, this one is such a beast mode fragrance as well. I mean, when I got the compliments on this one, it was from like 9-10 feet away. I was sitting 9-10 feet away from the door that the women were walking past, and they could smell it. Every now and then they stop by and ask me what I'm wearing, if it's sort of really flooding out the office, and it does, and obviously it smells nice as well. But this one, yeah, I mean, just absolutely mind blowing. So Amber Sky, number 5 of my top fragrances to buy in 2019. So in at number 4, I've got one of the nicest tobacco fragrances that I've smelled over the sort of, definitely in the last year. I'm a massive fan of tobacco fragrances, you will know if you follow my channel. And this one is definitely one of the most masculine, manly sort of cigar tobaccos there is out there. I mean, I'd say the most similar one I've tried to this one is probably Tabaron Millicent by Creed. This one though is so much better. If you can imagine, the best way of describing this one, if you imagine walking into a very high-end New York cigar bar, you got really rich leather and oak upholstery, you got the smell of Cuban cigars and whiskey in the air. That's exactly what you've got with this one. It's just, I mean, it is the best tobacco that I've smelled as far as sort of masculine fragrances go. I mean, it's just so good. So I mean, I just love the masculinity and how manly this one is. Strangely enough, I didn't really expect my wife to like this one because it's got a kind of I guess stale tobacco, but cigar tobacco, but it still smells incredible, if that's any way of describing it. But when my wife smelled this one, she was like, oh my God, what are you wearing? That was the first reaction I got from her, and I really didn't expect her to like it. So, but yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this one, and many of you will know, if you do follow my channel, that I really do adore this fragrance. As far as tobaccos go, most tobacco fragrances tend to be a little bit sweet. They're like honey or like cherry pipe tobacco, and they're lovely as well. But this is so different, and I just love how different this one is, and it's a much more unique and much more masculine fragrance. So number 4, you've got Sandor 70s by Carner, Barcelona. Now down to my top 3 that I will be buying in 2019. 2 of these, as most of you know, I'm a massive fan of boozy fragrances, so 2 of the last 3 are actually going to be boozy fragrances. But in number 3, we've got Apple Brandy by Kilian. I just love this one. It's not got the best performance. It's a little bit softer than what I normally go for, but just for pure uniqueness, this one just, I'm so in love with this fragrance. It's, I mean, like I say, it's not the best performance. You're still going to get sort of 6 to 8 hours out of it. I'm looking normally for something that goes on a little bit longer, but this is unique, and it smells, like I say, is absolutely mind-blowing. It's more of like an apple cider, I would say, rather than sort of apple brandy smell. But just the notes in this one just make such a beautiful, sort of well-blended fragrance. I love this one. My wife loved this one as well. But yeah, I mean, this is a sample I picked up when I bought Straight to Heaven Extreme, this one here. When I bought that in the London boutique, and I was given a sample of this and single malt. Single malt I really didn't think too much of. It's got no longevity or anything at all. This one I was kind of wearing on one arm, and I was wearing Straight to Heaven Extreme on the other arm. And the power of Straight to Heaven Extreme just blew this one away. But I'm so glad they gave me a sample, because when I came back and I wore it, I just fell in love with it. And so this is why this one's definitely going to get added in 2019 to my collection. So that'll be my 3rd Kilian that I will have in my collection. But that's still not enough as far as I'm concerned. I do love Kilian fragrances. But yeah, Apple Brandy in number 3. Now in number 2, oh, it's hard to pick between these two. I think I'm going to go with the other boozy one. This is one that I only wore this week. Now, as many of you know, as I said, I love boozy fragrances. But yeah, this one, Slumber House Back, this one is just pure rum. I mean, I love Straight to Heaven Extreme. It's a wonderful sort of rum vanilla fragrance, but this one is just pure rum. You've even got that sort of, that boozy sort of sugary smell that you get from sniffing like a bottle of spiced rum or something like that. It's like when you know, the best way of describing this one, I mean, what's funny about this one is it doesn't actually have any sort of rum notes in it at all, but just the concoction and the blending of this one just makes it so incredibly rummy. It's unbelievable. The best way of describing this is when you crack open a bottle of rum and you get that sort of, that first sort of essence that comes out of the bottle, that sort of slight burning sensation you get in your nose from the alcohol. That's exactly what you get with this one. The day that I wore this one, I just fell in love with it. It was also quite powerful considering, I mean, it's just considering it was coming just out of a dabber here. But yeah, it was the longevity and everything was just insane with this one. So Slumber House isn't one that's sort of readily available all the time. I believe they start and they stop production. So this is one that is available at the moment from Lucky Scent. So I'm looking forward to picking that up in the near future. So yeah, here's another one that I'm going to be adding for 2019. Now on to my number 1 fragrance. This is one that is huge in the community, in the fragrance community. And I know it's a very, very well loved fragrance. For me as well, every time I come back and sniff it, it just seems to get better and better. I know there's a few of you out there that would have to say this has to be in your collection. The one I'm talking about is L'air du Desert Moroccan by Andy Tower, and this one is absolutely insane. I mean, the best way I can describe this one, oh, so good. Oh, sorry, I have to have a couple of little sniffs there. This one just reminds me of when I was in Egypt and sort of standing out on the balcony as the sun set in, and you got like markets and things like that off in the distance, and you got like the warm air blowing off the desert, and you got all those spices and things like that. That's the smell. It's like bottled 5-star resort air, Egyptian 5-star resort air. If you've ever been to the desert or anything like that, I mean, the other way I could explain this one, I always remember when I was younger, I don't know if you had a similar experience, but I always remember when I was younger, when you come off an aeroplane, before they had sort of the jetways and things like that, so I'm going back quite a while, back to my childhood, probably about 25, 30 years. But yeah, when you come off an aeroplane in a foreign country and you sort of get that sweet air that's blowing off the runway and sort of blowing from the nearby fields, and it's kind of like a sweetness to it. It just reminds, like whenever you smell that, it just reminds you of being on vacation. And that's, again, similar to what you get here. Like I say, it's more of like a desert air that you get when you smell this one, but it's absolutely mind-blowing. It has to be added to my collection over the next few months, probably when I get back to London, because fragrance prices are fantastic in London at the moment. Whether they'll stay there after Brexit, we'll see. But right now, the UK is the best place to buy fragrances because the pound is a little bit weaker. So, I mean, just to give you an idea, the reason I picked up Baronda in the UK, it's £124 there as opposed to 185 US dollars. Now with the difference right now, there's not a lot of difference. So there's not a lot of difference in the pound against the dollar. So this one, I think it was around a $20, $25 saving. So yeah, well worth picking it up as well. So if you can buy your fragrances in the UK, definitely check that out because prices are phenomenal. So don't complain about the prices because, I mean, creeds as well, if you're into your creeds, they're a lot lower priced as well. Now, as usual, please let me know right below. Please like, comment and subscribe. I always appreciate when you do. Let me know your top 5. What will you be buying in 2019? Like I say, my list is always changing, but those are my top 5s for now. And they have been solid top 5s for a little while, with the exception of the Slumber House Back, which I recently added into my top 5 over the last few days. Other than that, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. You can find me at Luxury Fragrance Boss. That way you keep up to date with my scent of the day, anything else that's going on. Don't forget to hit that notification bell as well. That way you can keep up to date with all my videos and get notifications anytime I'm releasing anything new. Other than that, stay smelling fantastic. Look forward to seeing you very soon in my next video, and thank you so much for watching.